Hey everybody, welcome back to Day 3, Breakfast with Bob from the Day-Tev Challenge Roth. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by HOKA Fly Human Fly, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Outrigger Kona Resort and Spa, stay longer, save more, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation, our next guest. This will be her last Challenge Roth. Laura Siddall. She's been, let's see, second here, fourth here.
My record is fourth, second, fourth, second, fourth.
Wow. You like 4 and 2.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Hopefully if that pattern continues, I'll be happy on Sunday as well.
Obviously you love this event.
Yeah.
What is it about this event?
Oh, I mean, how long have you got? I could go on for hours, and I think I tell everybody how good this event is. I think for me the main thing is the people, like what they've created as a family. And although this event is like so big now and huge, I feel like this expo on steroids this year, like it's still such a family orientated event. And you know, I speak to the volunteers and I speak to all the locals who I've got relationships and friendships over the years, and like their kids grew up with Challenge Roth and now their kids are working for the Challenge Roth, or they're volunteering, or it's their kids, and it's just this, the families and generations go through, and I think they keep that together, so that's what makes it truly special, is the people. So
now you start to look at your career and you know, in a little bit of the rearview mirror, because it's almost done. What do you take away from this? I mean, obviously you could have had a real job, what, you're a mechanical engineer, whatever. How you could have sat in a cubicle for the last 15 years if you felt like it. But what do you when you look back, what are some of your fondest memories?
Gosh, I've tried to avoid doing this so far. I mean, particularly at Roth, like I think this race, it's always been on my race calendar every year, and it's given me so much as an athlete. It was, you know, one of the first races, and I had that second place, and it was to Danielle. I've only ever come second to the current world champions. One was Daniela Reef and one was Annie Howe. So I'm hoping again with Laura Phillip racing this year, it's just meant to be. You know, obviously like those races where you get on the podium, so the 2 races here will always kind of stand out, but I think generally just, again, like I said, the people, the locals, the volunteers, my homestay family, I've been with them for 9 years.
Oh my God.
I've watched their son grow up. I've been to his graduation, you know, all sorts of things. I think, you know, that's what I'll try and treasure and take away. And, you know, when I was growing up as a kid, I had no idea I was going to do professional sport. It just wasn't really an option for me. It was kind of, the sport was the hobby. And even when I turned professional, you know, 10 years ago, like I could not have told you that I would be going to Kona and the 2 top 10s I had at World Champs, and then coming to Roth every year, and, you know, be sitting here
and
10 years
winning
later.
Ironman Australia 3 years in a row. Let's not forget that.
And having all those experiences. So I think you just have to, I'm sure after Sunday, like just try and take a step back and just appreciate it all, and like try and remember what the sport has given me, and be grateful for that and be thankful.
A couple years ago you had a pretty horrific crash. Well, you got hit by a car, I think, during the race at Ironman Brazil. And the hard part is, you know, we work with challenged athletes where you see what somebody's dealing with. You see they're missing a leg, you see they're in a wheelchair, you're dealing with head injuries, you're dealing with things that people don't see. How tough was that period in your life?
If I look back now, a lot tougher than I was expecting. The last 2 years have been really dark. So the crash was in May 2023, and I was probably going into that race in some of the best form of my life. And at that point, you know, being an older athlete, but still thinking, I had a great coach, Julie Dibbons, and I'd come off the back of the 2 races in 2022, 2 top 10s at the World Champs. I had a great race at Challenge Roth the year before. As I had this run of great form, and I was really excited for 2023, and I still felt, even as an older athlete, I was improving and I still could improve. And then that just all changed like in an instant, and I still can't remember what happened.
Which is probably a good thing.
And I think that's probably a good thing. I think your body protects you. And I was lucky I got given a wild card for Kona that year, so I was able to go back and race, and I had a great race for me considering the build up.
Like 15, 16,
it was
something like
16,
16.
but
Yeah.
I was the last person under sub 9, so it was my fastest time and sub 9, and I think the time that I ran, you know, was a winning time from Rinny a few years earlier sort of thing,
Yeah.
and I was 16th. But since that Kona, then I've just really struggled, just mentally, physically, to kind of get back. And it's really hard because when it is an invisible injury, you don't know what's the injury, you don't know what isn't, you have no way of telling. And
Right.
with a brain injury, there's so little information, like, and it's so different for everyone,
And
and you don't really
every
know.
brain injury is so different, yeah.
So I've had some pretty dark days the last 2 years, and so like even just getting back to
And when
racing.
you say dark days, like hard to get up in the morning, just feeling like what's the use?
Yeah, I could get up and I would still go and train, but a lot of days, like, just thinking, why am I here? What's the point?
If I can't be a professional athlete, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Not even that, just
Why am I
here?
alive?
Yep.
Interesting.
A lot of days just crying all day,
Yeah.
not knowing why.
Yeah.
And so, I've had great support from my coach, and obviously some other
Yes.
help as well. And so, and I, even 2 months ago, I probably wasn't sure I was in a place to race here. I was determined after the crash to come back and to finish on my terms. And I know that as athletes, that's a pretty privileged position if you get to finish your career on your terms.
Yep, absolutely.
So I knew that might not be the case, but I wanted to give it a shot. And so just to get back this year to racing, and even the plan, I had great plans for this year, and we've had to cut them back a lot anyway. And so, but just to get back here is kind of like a win, just to get back on the start line on Sunday, and we'll see what happens.
When you have so much community that you're part of here, you'll see people this whole course.
Yeah.
Right. Once you get out of the water, you'll see families and friends and people you've got long-term relationships with who, so it's different than a race.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a tour.
Yeah.
I mean, you're racing. You're a professional athlete.
No, I have definitely, there's like, I know, like the people down at grading and all the aid stations, and so many people do come up over the week and the days, and so yes, it will be fantastic to be out there and take all that in. I mean, I said at a press conference, I'm certainly not here to jog it round and take it all in. I've trained as hard as I could for this race, and to go out in having the best race I can with where I'm at, and to cross that line feeling proud. But I obviously do want to take in everything and what this race has given me over the years.
And racing as a professional athlete and traveling the world like you have is that's something. If you were a mechanical engineer, you ain't doing that.
No, that's right. I mean, and that was obviously like when I was in my engineering job and making that decision, it was, I don't want to look back in 10, 20 years' time and think, why
didn't I take that?
Yeah,
why didn't I take a flyer?
Didn't take that chance.
Yes.
But I would never have dreamt it would have led to the last 10 years.
Look, all the logos on you. That's all the people, all those companies that have believed in you, all those companies that are part of the journey. That's pretty damn cool. No, I'm very grateful for that as well. And the few that I'd say HOKA, a huge one, and parkours as well, the wheels that have stuck by me this year as well, and Precision Fuel and Hydration. I'll just mention those, so Love it. Laura, always a pleasure. Thank you for all the fact you have a CAF on the back of your jersey.
I know, as I know, it'll be on my hat on race day
as
well.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very cool.
So,
I appreciate it. Thank you for all you do for CAF.
Thank you.
And thank you for being just such a great ambassador for the sport.
No, thank you, Bob. Hopefully I can still come back and do interviews with you.
Anytime.
Even not racing.
Out of a round of applause for Laura Siddall. Here's our audience. We have studio audience. There we go. Thanks, everybody. Hold on. We will be right back.